Yes. All right, folks, we're ready to start the program. Good afternoon, everyone, and this is a great event. We're all here to celebrate an historic unveiling of the 65th Infantry of the U.S. Army, the Borinqueneers. And what a better place than the Hall of the Flags here with our distinguished members of the legislature, the Puerto Rican caucus, the Black and Puerto Rican caucus. We have the lieutenant governor, we have the governor, we have multiple legislators here. We also have the commissioner from the Veterans Affairs Committee also, Ron Welch. So let me just say that there's a lot of work that has to go into this license plate, folks. And it takes a team. And as the commissioner of the Department of Motor Vehicle, I'd like to thank many of my team members, such as Sean Formica, who's head of communications. We had Janice Corpse running point guard to get this plate going. And of course, we all know Millie Torres, who was instrumental in helping everyone get this going. Thank you. So, folks, the 65th Infantry Regiment was composed primarily of Puerto Rican soldiers during the World War I, World War II, and the Korean War. This group holds a distinguished place in American military history and is recognized for its valor and resilience in defense of freedom. This commemorative license plate serves as a lasting tribute to the soldiers who carried out forward this legacy. This plate features distinctive elements that reflect the heritage, strength, culture, pride of the Borinqueneers and provide Connecticut residents with the opportunity to display their appreciation for historic contributions made by the 65th Infantry Regiment. These plates will go between $60 to $156, but more importantly, folks, is that part of that fee will also go to a certain organization which will help offset cost, which will go to the bilingual services and assistance to Connecticut veterans and armed forces, which $45 will come out of that plate. So it's a great day today, folks. I have a picture of the plate right here, as you can see. And many of the people behind us here, we all know the governor, lieutenant governor, and the legislature did great work on this, but also the Black and Puerto Rican caucus and the Puerto Rican caucus. And I'm going to turn it over now to my good friend here, Representative Reyes, who wants to say a few words.
Thank you, Commissioner. What an honor and privilege to be here representing the state of Connecticut, and more importantly today, long overdue recognition for our 65th Infantry from Puerto Rico, the 65th Regiment Borinqueneers. For me, it's such a privilege and an honor to be here, being of Puerto Rican descent, and knowing what our ancestors went through in those wars, World War I, II, and the Korean War. Many of our fallen Borinqueneers, unfortunately, are no longer with us. They've been recognized in the state of Connecticut. I want to acknowledge New Britain, Connecticut, for being the first one in the state, probably, and maybe in the country, for putting up the Borinqueneers Monument, which is a beautiful monument in the city of New Britain. And if you haven't seen it, go look at it. I want to congratulate the city of Bridgeport and the city of Waterbury for both having Borinqueneer bridges recognizing those men and women that gave their life for our country. Very important recognition. Lastly, I want to thank President Obama for officially recognizing them. The Borinqueneers have been around since 1899. Since 1899. They were given recognition by President Obama, then President Obama, with a congressional medal recognizing their valor, their patriotism, and the contributions that they made as soldiers representing this great country. It is with great pride that I have all these wonderful legislators behind me. We would not have been able to do this without two committees. The committees of veterans, led by at that time Representative Nolan and Representative Delaney, and I will also congratulate and thank Dr. Foster, who helped get us through. But this really came out of transportation, and then that is where we come in, Commissioner, thanking the Department of Motor Vehicles for finally getting this plate. It's been at least 3 years in the making, and without the push from the Puerto Rican and Latino caucus, as well as members from the BPRC, this day would never have come. I will now turn this over to my esteemed colleague and Deputy Speaker, Chris Rosario.
¡Que viva Puerto Rico! ¡Yo soy Boricua! That's right, that's right. It's an honor to be here today, not only representing the 128th District in Bridgeport, but also, as you can see by my sash, as the Grand Marshal of the 2026 Puerto Rican Parade in Fairfield County. I hope to see many of you there. Earlier this week, Governor, it's not every day I get to tell the Governor and Lieutenant Governor to do something, but earlier this week I was doing some appropriations work with Commissioner Guerrero and DOT Commissioner Euclido, but Euclido had just gotten off the line, and I know we have signs that say the pizza capital of the world and the basketball capital of the world, but we need a sign that says that Tony Guerrero is the best DMV commissioner in the state of Connecticut and the country. So I'm putting that out to the record. With that being said, the first state road recognized for the 65th Infantry was right in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I remember that day. We had families and Borinqueneers come from 17 states, and when I tell you, even now, when you go on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, it's become a viral moment. People come and take pictures at that sign on their way to the Borinqueneers Memorial in New Britain. So it's a good thing that unites our diaspora, and we're honoring our veterans, something that they so deservedly earned. God bless you all. Que viva Puerto Rico.
Thank you, Representative Rosario. It is my privilege and honor now to represent our Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bysiewicz.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. If you don't mind, I think this might make the picture better. It is such a pleasure to be here with all of you, and an honor to have the unveiling of that beautiful license plate. Thank you, Commissioner. This recognizes the distinguished legacy of the 65th Regiment. The Borinqueneers were composed of Puerto Rican soldiers who served with distinction in World War I, World War II, and Korea. And I want to thank all of our legislators for putting this forward and the governor for signing this into law. And a portion of the license plate fee is going to help expand bilingual services and assistance for veterans of our armed forces. I want to say a few words about the 65th Regiment because it was the only Hispanic unit from the Korean War to receive the Congressional Medal, the Congressional Gold Medal, which is really, really a great honor, and it was their valor and their bravery and service that won that medal. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of our Borinqueneers who are now in their 80s into their 90s, and so today's recognition ensures that our young people remember their service because the Borinqueneers were extraordinary. They had missions like Operation Thunderbolt, and they took part in the last United States Army battalion-sized bayonet charge in February of 1951. Now, here's something that is just incredible. The courage of the Borinqueneers is reflected in thousands of awards that they received for their valor, including 2,771 Purple Hearts, 606 Bronze Stars, 256 Silver Stars, 9 Distinguished Service Crosses, a Medal of Honor, and more. So I think that encapsulates the incredible bravery that the Borinqueneers showed, and they got recognition, but it's really important that we remember their legacy of service and patriotism. So I'm very, very proud to be here in a state that appreciates and recognizes our veterans. And again, I thank our legislative partners for making this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Before I introduce the next speaker, I'd just like to acknowledge Representative Minnie Gonzalez, who's the chair of the Puerto Rican caucus, Representative Antonio Felipe, who is the chair of the Black and Puerto Rican caucus. We have Commissioner Mr. Roche, Commissioner Roche, and we have Commissioner Cesar Bruno Mosquero. It gives me a great honor to bring in our next speaker, also Deputy Speaker Pro Tem, Representative Juan Candelaria from the great city of New Haven.
Thank you. If history has taught us anything, is that unsung heroes sometimes are unrecognized. And that happened to the 65th Regiment. They were unrecognized for many, many years. And eventually Congress recognized them and issued them the Congressional Gold Medal. One thing we have to recognize is that they are Puerto Ricans, U.S. citizens, yes, U.S. citizens, who fought bravely to protect our freedom. But today, with the unveiling of this plate, we're not only recognizing their perseverance and their fight for our liberties and our protection. What we're recognizing is that it's visual, that when we drive through our roads in Connecticut, we'll remember them, and they'll be part of Connecticut's history. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. It gives me a great honor to bring up a dear friend of this caucus, former representative and current mayor of the great city of New Britain, Bobby Sanchez.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This is a proud, proud day for the Puerto Rican community and for Puerto Rican veterans who served this country so well throughout so many wars and so many years. I am so proud of this because, believe it or not, the person that designed this plate is from New Britain, and he's here with us today, Joel Moet. Well, Joel was also instrumental in designing the monument in the city of New Britain, which is still the largest 65th Infantry monument in the United States. So, and it's in the city of New Britain, the proud city I serve and I was born in. So thank you again to the commissioners, thank you to the governor, lieutenant governor, everyone that had their hands on this development of this plate, and for the support that we've had for our veterans here in the state of Connecticut. Thank you so much. I'm so proud today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Sanchez. At the end of the day, the state of Connecticut and the Puerto Rican and Latino legislators collaborated with Hispanic veterans. The important piece of this is to not just find some funding for the Hispanic veterans, but we actually created a model and a process where they can replenish that every time we renew our plates with the with the Borinqueneers plate. So this is an important piece, and it gives me great honor, and I'm humbled before this gentleman because he's a very humble person. But I love that he came fully dressed today, and he will speak on his association, and they're the benefactors of the funds that are those $45 that Commissioner Guerrero spoke of, to be able to not only advocate and continue to replenish funds for the veterans of the state of Connecticut, and in particular the Hispanic veterans. And it's a privilege and honor to bring in Mr. Juan Cruz.
I want to thank pretty much very special Ms. Representative Reyes for making the Hispanic American Veterans of Connecticut part of this unveiling. We are the organization also that brought for the first time here through Mr. Frank Nieves. He was the one who, his father was a Borinqueneers. He's located in the state of Florida, and he's the one that started that initiative to bring this Congressional Gold Medal to life. So I am proud to say that our organization started working here in the state of Connecticut thanks to Senator Richard Blumenthal. That was one of the big pusher over here. General Nieves, retired. Mr. Gabe Otero, who was a great member of our organization. Mr. Marvin Flores, and all different members that has been part of it. Me, I'm the vice president of the Hispanic organization, and also I'm the founding president of the organization. And I can tell you right now that I feel extremely proud, and I want to thank again Representative Reyes, our governor, Mr. Lamont, and our lieutenant governor as well. All the members here that were part of it, Candelaria, I know that he's been a good friend of mine, our mayor now of the town of New Britain, also for creating that monument that again signify what the Borinqueneers did for Puerto Rico and for the United States. Once again, they were the strongest regiment that worked with bravery, with courage, with resiliency, and that's what Puerto Rican soldiers do. And I'm proud to be a Puerto Rican also that served and retired from the U.S. Army in Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. La organización, English or Spanish? In English, okay. I'm so sorry. So our organization is the Hispanic American Veterans of Connecticut. We started actually in 2006, and we started actually in the Department of Veterans Affairs in Rocky Hill, that it was Linda Schwartz, our commissioner there. And now also I continue to receive a lot of help because I'm still there. And now, thanks to General Welsh, he's been a strong supporter of our entity. But our organization, what we do is we try to help. Back then, we were helping soldiers that either were Korean veterans or Vietnam veterans that were still having difficulties with the language, with translation. And we were helping them, taking them to the VA and taking them to different appointments. And I'm still serving as a bilingual person, helping them with the benefits, because once again, the Department of Veterans Affairs offer benefits to veterans, and that's what we are trying to do as an advocate for those members. So with the funds that we are getting from this plate, what we're planning to do is to try to use it to provide those resources to those parties. Again, I cannot be more excited and more happy than that. We support veterans in the state of Connecticut, and hey, that's what we're planning to continue with the fighting force. And just so you all know, the Congressional Gold Medal was provided in April 13, 2006. So this coming April 13 as well is going to be our 10th year that we're going to be celebrating. And our organization will be making a great celebration celebrating our 20th years. But again, the Hispanic American Veterans of Connecticut is there for help. And this is not only Hispanics. We are helping any veteran that comes to us. We are there to provide our services.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Before I bring up our last speaker, I would like to recognize three members. They're all fallen now, 3 members of the Borinqueneers. Everybody probably remembers Mr. Celestino Cordova from New Haven.
Yes.
He used to come to all our events, and including mine in Waterbury when he came to the bridge dedication. And I was wondering how he was going to get there because he was in his early 90s. And Representative Candela told me, don't worry about him. He drives. He'll get there on his own. I remember that. And in Hartford, we want to recognize Mr. Joe Picard, who also was a person that served and was at that Borinqueneers dedication, not only in Bridgeport, but also in New Britain. And from Waterbury, I'd like to acknowledge Abimael Diaz, who not only was a Borinqueneer, but he was a prisoner of war for 2 years. And those are the 3 that I know. They're all fallen. I'm sure there's others. We're actually trying to find any that are still alive because we want to recognize them and give them flowers while they're alive. And I'll leave you with the comments and closing remarks from the governor of the state of Connecticut, Ned Lamont.
Thank you, Terry. Let me just start out. Chris Rosario
mentioned that one of our license plates says that we're the basketball capital of the world. If you were at People's Bank Arena last night at about 9 o'clock, there's no question about it. Our team kicked butt. They were amazing. Harris Reed is a god. Let me tell you about the folks who served our country and what that meant. They served in World War I. They served in World War II. They were on the front lines during the Korea War, stepping up in most toughest of the hand-to-hand combat. This is not about just a license plate, Tony. It's really about showing some great Puerto Rican what they meant for this country and standing up for this country, and why we're so proud of the Puerto Rican American population that calls Connecticut home. That's what this is all about. This is the story that we're trying to tell. And a week ago, we were there celebrating the Tuskegee Airmen. Because often it's in the military that people get the best opportunity to show what they do and what they mean. And these folks stood up every day for our country, served with bravery, served with heroism. So when you see that license plate, remember what they did on behalf of the United States of America. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Governor Lamont. We have the QR code here so folks can start ordering their plates. I'm going to be putting in my order as soon as we're done here. It is an active QR code. Commissioner Guerrero assured me that it's working, and we'll take any questions if anybody has any. Sir. I'm going to do one better. I'm going to bring up our leader from the Puerto Rican caucus, Representative Minnie Gonzalez, to say it in Spanish. Para que lo diga en español. Yeah.
Buenos días. Gracias por acompañarnos y gracias a todas aquellas personas que de una u otra manera hicieron esto posible. Hemos estado esperando por muchos años y hemos trabajado muchísimo porque nosotros queríamos honrar esas personas que tan valientemente representaron a nosotros y también a la nación, a Estados Unidos. Ellos fueron nuestros soldados que nos representaron con valentía y fueron unas personas que nunca se rindieron, a la cual muchas personas honran hoy día por haber sido como ellos fueron. Todavía se encuentran algunos que están vivos, pero estamos tratando de ver cómo podemos conseguirlos para también nombrarlos a ellos, honrarlos a ellos, porque no es bueno honrarlos después que se van. Es bueno honrarlos cuando todavía están vivos, porque para eso ellos trabajaron, por eso ellos se lo ganaron. Y déjenme decirles, cuando usted dice puertorriqueño es gente que de verdad tiene una pasión por los temas. Cuando tienen un issue que lo quieren pelear, ustedes ven la pasión en ese puertorriqueño. Porque cuando decimos puertorriqueño es porque sentimos la sangre rodar por nuestras venas. Porque nosotros sí estamos orgullosos de ser puertorriqueños. No importa dónde estemos, el puertorriqueño siempre dice presente. Gracias y que tengan buen día.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Minnie Gonzalez. Any other questions, please? Start ordering your plates. Thank you.